chances.
What's your plan when shit hits the fan? Better call Atlas. We build bunkers.
Your promise is now. Feel the sun on your face. Laugh until your ribs ache. Tell the people you love what they mean. Not tomorrow, but today. Chase the dream that scares you. The one that sets your soul on.
What would happen if Russia invaded the USA right now? Russian submarines surface off the coast of Alaska, hypersonic missiles streak toward major military bases in Norfolk, Virginia, Pearl Harbor, and San Diego. Russia has launched a full-scale invasion of America. The war has begun. Russian forces push through the Arctic, crossing into Canada to strike northern US borders. At the same time, Russian spies already embedded in major cities like New York and Los Angeles launch coordinated attacks on infrastructure. Bridges, power stations, and communication hubs all fall. Chaos spreads. The US military responds instantly. Fighter jets scramble, and naval fleets mobilize in the Pacific and Atlantic, locking in Russian ships. NATO immediately supports the US and invokes Article 5. Allies like the UK and Germany send reinforcements. Canada fortifies its borders as Russian troops advance. China quietly backs Russia, moving troops eastward. North Korea fires missiles to distract the US, while Japan and South Korea join the fight, fearing an all-out global war. The world economy crashes, oil prices skyrocket, and supply chains collapse. American forces retaliate against Russia, targeting Moscow's military hubs. Then the unthinkable happens. Russia, after facing huge losses, threatens nuclear strikes unless the US surrenders. The US responds by raising DEFCON 1. Submarines armed with nuclear warheads position themselves in the Arctic. Both countries have nukes aimed at each other. Billions watch as humanity's fate hangs by a thread. One wrong move could mean the end of civilization as we know it.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel, brother, lift up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit, as we were showing and depicting in the video, which these are AI generated, of course, and AI puts their spin to things. But as they were showing you how NATO will come to the defense of America, when in fact it's not necessarily true, at least in a time when this place gets hit, because we know that NATO, which stands for National Atlantic Treaty Organization, which was set up in 1949 to combat the Soviet Union at that time, or the Eastern Bloc, to fend off particular attacks within Europe and the Americas. We know that they're going to come against Babylon. They're going to come against their allies, and America will be left to fend for itself in this Third World War, which we're swiftly approaching. There's this video on TikTok I was looking at here that says, breaking news, a war with Iran may start soon, as allegedly Trump's war strategies have been leaked as to what his plans were for Iran and parts of the Middle East. I haven't yet to see that video. Lord's will, I could check it out sometime later today to kind of get more intel on what's going on in order to, effectively report on these things, because us as men of the Lord, the scriptures say, pray and therefore watch. And this is part of our job as a watchman, going into these prophecies, man. And we've been foretelling the downfall of America, aka Babylon the Great, since the apostles' inception on YouTube and even before then. Okay, and this is a good depiction of what it was going to look like, or what it will look like once America is destroyed by icbm nuclear fire. Okay, as the scriptures call this the place the land of unwalled villages. This place is going to be totally invaded, and to be honest with you, you already have sleeper cells and spies and agent provocateurs that's already set up in place to carry out certain attacks in U.S. soil, okay, which will bring about instability in the economy. Okay, like they said, the global supply chains will come to a halt, economic crash, which leads to bank failures, okay, which leads to power outages, which leads to riots and class riots and civil unrest, invoking of martial law, as they mentioned in Article 5 as well. there will be all hell breaking loose on the soils of America, man. And this is a clear depiction as to what it's going to look like. As this movie here, matter of fact, this is all AI generated. But nonetheless, that looked like in that movie Terminator 2 with Sarah Connor when she was on the gate. And basically they basically Skynet when the AI, the war against man and machine, was ignited on the earth. But ultimately, we know that's going to be through nuclear weapons, okay, nuclear war. And this is basically going to be your lake of fire, okay, because when you go into Isaiah, the 15th chapter, the Lord said he would sweep it with the besom of destruction. And when you look at this impact from when the missiles hit, that's a sweeping agent. And it's destroying everything in its path, man. And this is going to be the result of Babylon. And all you people that come up against the men of the Lord's anointed, this is going to be the result of it. And this image looked like it was taken from a movie called The Knowing, which stars Nicolas Cage, which goes into basically a countdown into pretty much the world ending, which we know that the scriptures say that the world won't end per se, but there will be an end of an age. Okay, and this is the result of how Babylon is going to get taken out. And the prophet saw this in visions, you know. Now, no bunker is going to be able to withstand this, because you got to understand that when this place is hit by those 200,000, those missiles, any bunker or any chance of survival in America is going to be pretty much 0%. Okay, if you're not of the elect and you're not beamed out of here with the ships, you ain't gonna survive this, because that's how many missiles are gonna hit this place, man. All right. So anyway, let's get a couple of precepts real quick. They actually got the one on screen, Revelation 9 and 14, and I'm gonna start here. Verses 12, Revelation 9 and 12. It says, "One woe is past. Behold, there come two more woes hereafter." And those woes goes into the world wars. Okay, woe, which is the world wars, right? And it says, "And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before the Most High, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, Loose the four angels which are bound by the great river Euphrates." So you have four angels, okay, which I've always speculated those are the archangels, right? Because the scriptures go into the total of 7 archangels. Before it's only mentioned by name, by the name of Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, and Michael, which Michael is the chief of angels under Yahweh Shai. And it says here, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, Loose the four angels which are bound by the great river Euphrates. And as we know, the Euphrates River, what they call that, the Fertile Crescent area, which is affectionately known as the Middle East or Eurasia. That's what the War of Armageddon would take place. As in the scriptures, it tells you in the Hebrew tongue, Armageddon or Harmagagwan, which means mountain of troops. Okay, within that region, in the Tel Aviv, that Gaza region, that within the area reigns of Israel, pretty much where humanity began is where it all gonna end. You know, well, at least for this devil. But it says here, say to the six angels which had the trumpet, Loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loosed and were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay a third part of men. So this is set for an appointed time. Okay, because it says a day, an hour, a month, and a year. And I pray that year is 2025/2026. Okay, because it looked like we got some time to go before this happens, because they got to introduce the MOTB, which can literally happen overnight. I mean, I won't say it can happen overnight, but the infrastructure is in place that if they decide to shut everything down tonight, they can literally get the system up and running within a month, because they already got the chips. They have the infrastructure. They're just waiting to put the final touches on this whole AI ordeal, you know, to get things up and running. Like Trump said, $500 billion into what they call Stargate, which they've already put the money into that. Okay, it ain't no proposal that they got to get approval. They've already put the money into it, and they're in the process of building it up now. And they've probably been building this shit up for the last 10 years. Okay, remember, us, the people, we get whiff of this shit at the last minute. Like with the smartphones and the flat screen TVs and the iPhones. They've had that shit 40 years before we even got whiff of it. So it ain't nothing new. And this is the reason why they were able to put it in the likings of movies like Demolition Man. Because we know ultimately that the Hollywood scripts are approved of by the CIA. And the CIA, they have access to this military or to this type of technology years in advance before the sheep will get, get whiff of it. But it says, and the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay a third part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, which those are talking about missiles. Okay, you got guys that say, oh, well, those are about angels. No, those are talking about the missiles, my man. Okay, now everything is being controlled through the counsels of the Heavenly Father, because the Heavenly Father, he's going to control the missiles, But overall, this is talking about the ICBMs, which will hit America, all right? And it would totally destroy this place and lay it desolate, Hold on one second. Slack you. And it says here, the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them, and thus I saw the horses in a vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issue fire, smoke, and brimstone, which prove that those are talking about warheads, man. If you understand the propellers of a warhead, this is what it's going into. All right. And it says here, and by these 3 was the third part of men killed, which the third part is going into you Edomites, predominantly in Babylon, because you're the third part of men. But by the fire and by smoke and by brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. It says, for the power is in their mouth and their tails, for their tails are like unto serpents, and heads, and with them they do hurt. And the heads is talking about the warhead, all right? So peep this. And Isaiah saw this in a vision, when it says that he behold, when he saw heaven rolled together as a scroll. The scroll is talking about a mushroom cloud, man. And this is what's going to be your lake of fire. Can't wait to this day, man, when this shit is finally over with. And it says, for the power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails like unto serpents, and heads, and with them they do hurt. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of their works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which can neither see nor hear nor walk. Neither repented of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornications, nor of their thefts, because you're going to still have life as normal in other parts of the world. But this event is going to get the attention of the entire world, because this is going to be publicized, man. And you're going to see this deliverance coming from the 4 corners, and the deliverance will be televised, man. All right? Because, hey, when we get beamed up into that ship, hey, that's murder she wrote. Revelation 11, and I'm going to start at verses 12, and it says, and I heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up into heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. The cloud is talking about the ship, our deliverance. And it says, in the same hour there was a great earthquake, which is going to be by the missiles. A great earthquake, and a 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake was slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were frightened and gave glory to the Most High of heaven. But behold, the second war was past, the third war coming quickly, which the third war is going into the Third World War. Okay, once again, which we're pretty much in already. Because the way that this guy Trump is moving, hey, it's easy to see why his allies are coming up against him, which the whole European Union is talking about cutting this guy off, man. He's talking about putting terrors on the rest of the world. I mean, if you put terrors on the whole world, that's sealing your fate. Okay, because like I said, man, Trump, he's literally getting his allies in opposition of his actions, because they're looking like, what the hell is this dude doing? Okay, he's spearheading NATO into a global war with Iran. And if Iran goes into war with America, then Russia has no choice but to step in, because it tells us in Ezekiel 38 that Russia will be a guard into these smaller nations, man. All right. Isaiah 9:6, it says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and the garments roll in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Okay, talking about World War III. I think it's Isaiah 16, besom of destruction. Hold on, let me look that up. Maybe in Isaiah 14, 15, or 16, besom. Isaiah 14 and 23, okay. I don't know where I got 15 from. But it says judgment on Assyria. All right. But it says here, this is the book of Isaiah 14 And I'm going to start at verses 23. And it reads, and it says here, I will also make it a possession for the bitter in the pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, says the Lord. Now you go up to besom, see what the word besom means, a besom of destruction, which goes into a broom, okay, a broom, or a sweeping agent, okay, like a broom, something that you're sweeping. So when you go into this video, this is what it's talking about, and this is what Isaiah saw in a vision, because that wind, that fire, is going to sweep through everything, man. It is going to totally lay the land desolate, and you're not going to be able to survive this. And once it's said and done, you're going to see a whole entire continent engulfed in flames, hence setting up your lake of fire. And it says here, and the Lord of hosts have sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so it shall come to pass, as I have purposed, so it shall stand, that I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains tread him on the foot. Then shall his yoke depart off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders. But this is the hold on. Isaiah 14. Yep, matter of fact, let's go to Isaiah 13. Yep, Isaiah 13 and 19, and it says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, should be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, which that was through fire and brimstone. And it should never be inhabited, neither should it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither should the Arabian pitch tent there, neither should the shepherds make their fold there. But the wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and the houses should be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And our time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. So we're in that time, man. All right, we ain't got that much time to go. Yahweh Shai is getting ready to put on the gas on this place, man, because hey, this man has been terrorizing the children of Israel since our inception, man. Okay, Yahweh Shai is getting ready to pump the brakes on this devil, and it's about time. All right, because this is the book of Isaiah 34:4. It says here, in all the host of heaven should be, it says, and all the host of heaven should be dissolved, and the heavens should be rolled together as a scroll, which is the mushroom cloud, and their host shall fall down, as the leaf falleth from the vine, as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword should be bathed in heaven, and behold, it should come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Okay, and Idumea is talking about you Edomites. So the Lord is getting ready to make this tabernacle of the wicked desolate with fire and brimstone. So with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Lord's will, you were edified. Until the next lesson. Shalom.
And I just want to brief you very quickly on the whole development of a greater war that's beginning to brew and develop in the Middle East. Now, as we speak, there are numerous U.S. Air Force B-2 Spirit stealth bombers that's designed for long-range, multiple-role missions on its way to Diego Garcia. Now, you might be familiar with these bombers. Of course, they are capable of delivering both conventional and nuclear warheads. And the thing is this, we know about the conflict situation that's happening at this very moment in Yemen. But if you look at how many aircraft carriers are currently in that area that's making their way there, it seems like a total overkill for Yemen, for the Houthis to deal with this whole situation that's going on here. And the big speculation is that America is preparing to strike Iran. Reports indicate that there are currently about 7 B-2 bombers deployed. And that's quite a big number if you think about it, that America's got 20 of these B-2 Spirit bombers. 7 of them, according to reports, are on their way to the Middle East and are already in Diego Garcia. So at this moment in time, it looks very possible that we are going to see war with Iran very shortly. And of course, this is going to affect the whole world. And what you need to do very often with these things, you need to connect the dots, all right, in order to try to get the bigger picture, because obviously, due to security reasons and because certain things are classified, it's not released to the public. But very often you can look at the dots and you can try to connect them. Let me give you a couple of dots that's indicating that we are going into a perilous time, most probably very soon. Number one, the European Union is telling their people to prepare at least 3 days of food, water, flashlights, radio, etc. for unforeseen circumstances. In other words, man-induced and or natural disasters. All right, that's not normal. That's across the European Union. France is telling its people to leave Iran immediately. Number two, we know that America has been bombing the Houthis in Yemen, and the thing is that they are supported by Iran. They're a proxy of Iran, and Iran is funding them. And so we've seen more and more aircraft carriers moving over to that vicinity. Now you have all these B-2 bombers making their way towards that region. And it seems like, according to some reports, that even the Iranian leaders are in bunkers at this very moment in time. Now, it's very difficult to say which of these reports are true, which are not. But from multiple sources, I have seen that there are very strong indications that things are rapidly building towards a greater war in the Middle East. So I think you need to keep your eye on Iran at this very moment in time. And of course, that's going to affect the oil prices. It's going to affect the markets, like big time affect the markets. And watch the price of gold, by the way. There's a lot of instability that's happening at this very moment in time. And so I think it is wise in this time to walk closely with the Lord. And if you look at what Jesus said, if you look at Matthew 24 to 27, that whole chapter, section, and Jesus deals with eschatological things, end times. And his disciple says to him, what will be the end? What will be the sign of your coming? And Jesus immediately jumps in that and saying that watch out that no one deceives you. Obviously, because many will come in my name claiming I'm the Christ, will deceive many. Those of you that are familiar with the book of Matthew will know what I'm referring to. But one of the things that Jesus says, he says you'll hear of wars and rumors of wars. And of course, Matthew 24, 25, that section of Matthew, it coincides or it runs parallels with Revelation chapter 6, where it speaks about the horsemen of the apocalypse. And the red horse is war and destruction. In fact, those two portions, they run sequence events exactly like that. All right? So what I'm trying to say to you is that we are living in very perilous times, very unstable times. And it is important in this time that you know where you stand with God, because things, I believe, is going to change very, very quickly. All right? It's busy building, and it's going to explode at some stage or another. There are tremendous movements with regards to military and military exercises happening all around the world. Now, no one of us, normal people, all right? Normal people wants war. We don't want that. It's not a nice thing, all right? So pray for peace. Pray that these things will be resolved, because war is not a pretty thing. And just keep your eye on Iran at this moment in time. See what happens there. Have a great day. I'll be back with some more updates at some stage. I was planning to deal and to do a whole prophetic update at some stage about this whole topic, but this is just breaking news that's beginning to develop, and it's increasing very, very fast. It's escalating the situation, so I thought I'll just share that with you. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Now, this is going to be a quick one, and I just want to brief you very quickly